Hey guys, Vangoa got in touch with me and they sent me this pedal board. It has a power supply built right into the frame with 12 isolated outputs with options for 18 volt, 12 volt and various milliamps. I'm going to go into some more detail about it and the bag that it comes with, and then I'll give you my thoughts at the end. First impressions, it's made out of this nylon material. I don't know whether it has any water-resistant properties. I will put that on the screen. But it also has this kind of cross-weave pattern, very reminiscent of ripstop, although at this price point, I don't imagine it's genuine ripstop. You have a zip on the face of the bag here that is the full width. The pocket goes all the way over here and is plenty thick enough for cables and that kind of thing. You have a piece of black bondage plastic here. You've got feet on the bottom. I'll give you some close-up shots of these because they're not all going to be in focus with this top-down shot that I've got going on. You have a handle on the top. It's not reinforced, but it is padded. Let's have a little look at the zip on the side. A little bit of a jam there. Not bad, not bad. Oh, I think it's just because it was a new zip. Nah, it's good. That's a good quality zip on the side there. Yeah, that's nice. You've got quite a thick amount of padding. You also have straps, Velcro straps in the bottom of the pedal board to fasten your pedal board into the case. I don't imagine many people are probably going to bother with that, but it's nice to know they exist. And you also have this giant, let me flip that around so you can see it. You've got a mesh pocket for storage of cables and that kind of thing. I'd just like to show you the back panel and the straps. So you have this piece of material on the back that has got some very fine padding in it, and it's kind of a curious addition in that it's joined at the lower edge and in the top corners, but not at the sides. So you can pass your hand all the way through, and the straps are tucked down behind it, but they're not tucked down behind this piece of material. There is an additional pocket just on the inside that you might be able to see there. So you pull the straps out, and you have clips that clip onto these hoops that are fastened in the lower corners, and both the hoops and the clips are made of plastic. You also have a piece of webbing for reinforcement of the strap, but the webbing is only fastened to the outer nylon material rather than being stitched all the way through, which could conceivably put a little bit of weight on this joint. I think you can see if I pull like that, imagine if you had a very heavy pedal board with a lot of additional cables in, you're putting quite a lot of stress on that joint. So that might be something I'd want a little bit more reinforcement on. And the same would go for the handle. Again, it's fastened to the outer material, and I would personally rather see a padded bit of webbing for the strap rather than this mesh and the nylon with what feels like some kind of sponge insert. But overall, it's a good bag. I like the design of it. I like the level of padding, and the zips are very smooth now. I've used them a little bit. Maybe a little extra reinforcement on a couple of the straps, and it's fantastic. But for the money, I think that's a very good bag. What have we got? This is telling you about the connections for the in and out. The in and out on this only pertains to the light bar, so that's got nothing to do with the actual signal path, but they've included that. You get some Velcro strips. You've got enough for each of the rails, and they are sticky back. Let's see what kind of... That's actually quite a nice quality of Velcro there. I'm not going to actually add the Velcro to the pedal board here because I don't need another pedal board. I've got my own. I've got two of them, in actual fact, so I don't need another one. And if I stick this to it, then it's worth less to me if I sell it on eBay. So just know that I'm not going to do that. What else have we got here? We've got cables. We have the wall wart situation here, and we've got both a European style plug and a UK 3-pin. We have a user manual that will say, stick your pedals to the pedal board, and a very nice looking aluminium pedal board, or as the Americans would say, aluminum, but that wouldn't make any sense because that's not how it's spelt. A nice weight to it, but not stupidly heavy. You can tell that it's got a bit of mass in this bit of it, but that's kind of made out of one pressed. Interesting. So instead of being welded like it is on something like a pedal train, this top section is kind of pressed and rolled. Yeah, it's just the whole thing is just pressed and rolled out of one piece. That's quite a nice design, actually. It's quite clever. On the right-hand side of your screen is my Warwick rock board. Now, I've had that thing for about 10 years, and it's been a good board, but I was just looking at the design of this, and I think I prefer it for certain things. Not only is having the included power supply quite an elegant solution, but the way that they've done the channels here, you have these cutouts that allow you to pass cables through. So even if this board was in its low profile mode, so that you've got these feet folded in, the cables still wouldn't be cut in half by the bottom of the rails. So I do quite like this from a cable management perspective. You can of course run your cables down these hollow channels, whereas these box sections don't allow you to do that. You have these fold out feet here. They feel very solid. They lock into place nicely. Well, it's not done with a click, but it doesn't feel like it's going to go anywhere. And they fold away very reassuringly. This front edge is extremely low profile. On some boards, this is already quite high. So in order to get some kind of a slope, the back needs to be even higher. Well, the problem with that is if you've got some particularly thick pedals, like wah pedals or something like that, volume pedals, sometimes they won't fit in the case because this top edge is going to be so thick with the pedal as well. So that's actually quite a handy feature. Because you've got the low profile and because the legs fold, you could use this pedal board with a hard case if you wanted to buy one, and you'd have no trouble fitting very large effects in there. Toast. Toast. Anyone remember Mission Impossible? As you can see, there's an internal microphone that is picking up the ambient noise and then will illuminate to display what's going on. Now you could calibrate this using a dB meter and have it illuminate red when your ears are about to implode. That would be quite useful. Alternatively, you can use the input and output section over on the side here, and you can basically sense the level of the guitar input. So if you play harder, then you'll have more lights and it'll tell you how hard you're hitting your pedals. Now, you could also use it in quite an interesting way. So I thought about an instance where it would be genuinely useful to me. I've sent too much level from my preamp before into my impulse response, and I've clipped the front end of the impulse response. So you could put this in between the output of my preamp pedal and the input of my impulse response, and it would let me know visually how much level I was putting into it. So it's a bit gimmicky, but there are a couple of practical applications for it. Personally, I don't like something that draws attention to itself on stage this much, but if you don't like it, you can simply turn it down with that, and then the problem resolves itself. I think this makes a very compelling option for people putting together a pedal board for the first time, mainly because of the value. This is my pedal board back here. There are many like it, but this one is mine. This is my NUX Cerberus. Hasn't left my board since it turned up. And my small fry burn unit that I've been using about 10 years. And it's on this Pedal Train Nano Plus small board. And underneath you have a True Tone One Spot Pro, and it's the CS6 model, so it's low profile, so it fits under this small board. Now, if you want a small board, these guys have got you covered. They have that as well. But if I wanted to put together a board of this size, but in this brand, the Pedal Train, which would be the Classic Juniors, the closest equivalent size, would be around about 114 quid. And the power source in a True Tone would be £189 for one with 12 outputs. So we're talking about in excess of £300. I suddenly feel like a salesman here. What if I told you this board isn't £300? What if I told you it's not even half that? It's not even £150. What if I said this is yours to take away right now for just £120? it would be true. That's how much it is. It's less than half the price. That is a very compelling reason to go for this. I think the design of it is good. I think the bag is very good for the money, and having the power source included is a very practical option. Now, there are a couple of things that I would personally change about it. It comes with an 18-volt wall wart style power supply. As someone that gigs a fair amount, I would find that to be a little bit of a liability. I want to see a kettle lead there, or what you might call an IEC cable. I'm easily going to be able to get hold of a kettle lead at a gig, but that would be something that I would have to specifically buy and then carry with me as a backup. The other thing is the bag is a backpack style. Now, if you're carrying your pedal board in a soft case, you're probably carrying your guitar in a soft case too. And because you're going to put that on your back, you've only got the one back, you wouldn't be able to wear this as well. So the bag needs to be a messenger style, and for me, those straps need to be fastened to the bag with some kind of a rivet as opposed to being stitched. Now, if those two things make you willing to part with double the amount of money, then this is not for you. But if you can look past those two things, and I would suggest that if you're not gigging all the time, this is easily sturdy enough and not a problem, then this, like I said, makes a very compelling option. I want to thank Vangoa for sending this over. I hope you guys have got something from the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.